Hey everyone, my name is Diego Reyes. I'm here with
Francisco Corona.
and
Colin Wright.
this is our next podcast. We're working our way up, doing great things. Big fight coming up this weekend, and I'm here with Woo's Fighters World headquarters. At where?
We are located at 6423 Richmond Avenue, Suite S.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit. What do you guys think about what's going to happen this weekend?
I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be kind of the same as last time, unfortunately, for McGregor. But, Diaz has had a full camp. He's a lot bigger. His boxing is crisp. He has a chin. It's going to be a tough fight for McGregor. So it'll be interesting to see what, if any, changes he's made or any new developments. But, he still has a chance. Like he's always got that puncher's chance, especially in the first round or two of that fight. Early in the first round, he was landing, he was slipping the shots, he was looking really good. If he conserves his energy right and picks his shots really well and finds his opening, he could absolutely end Diaz's night early.
What about you, sir?
I really think pretty similar. I really think really similar. I think it's gonna be very similar to the last fight. I'm sure probably McGregor is gonna look a little bit different because now he knows, right? He fought him already, so he knows he's expecting to have a bigger guy. He's expecting to have a way better or a really good boxer. He's expecting to have a really good jiu-jitsu guy. And for what I've seen and heard, McGregor has been they changed his training camp. He's bringing really good boxers for his camps and pretty good jiu-jitsu coaches too. So I think it's gonna be pretty much the same. But I think McGregor's gonna look a little bit better on this one. It's a tough one though. It's always a tough one.
You think the payout's gonna be the same or gonna be more?
Oh, it's got to be more. It has to be more. That's the whole point of this fight. It's the big money fight. Somebody said this a while back, and it makes total sense to me. But the UFC's hurting if their highest paid or if their highest rated stars aren't fighting, So the UFC wants to keep guys like McGregor and now Diaz active as often as possible, and this is literally the biggest fight that they can put on right now. And so of course, the UFC is there. In fact, I've heard rumors already that they've already signed for a third match. So
wow.
We'll see. But
We'll see. Yes, definitely. I mean, they're gonna be a really good payday for them.
This was a pretty busy week, I guess, for combative sports in general. Especially in the Houston area, you had cage combat, you had the grappling super fight, you had Savarese had their boxing in Texas City. I mean, it's unbelievable what Houston is bringing out with all the talent. And you mentioned earlier in the cage combat fight about this being the epic center. Can you have any comments about the talent coming out of here and out of Houston?
Yeah, Houston's. First of all, I think that Houston doesn't get enough credit for being like a really big boxing city. There's a really good boxing history here. Like, we have a lot of really good boxers here. And so pugilistic and combat sports have been around actually for a really long time in Houston. And so I'm not surprised at all that it's like become this hotbed for MMA. When I first started, there were like maybe 3 to 5 gyms in town that you could train at and be serious about training. And you just see how that's exploded. Every time I look around the corner, there's a new MMA gym popping up, or a new kickboxing gym, or a new jiu-jitsu gym. So it's just really exploded. Again, not surprising. We have a ton of we're economically self-sustainable, or at least largely, here in Texas. We have a huge melting pot of different people coming from all different walks of life and all different kinds of backgrounds. And it's an appealing sport to anyone. I love Dana White's explanation. You put basketball on one corner, baseball on another, football on another, and a fight on the fourth corner. Everybody's on that fourth corner. And I think that really shows in Houston. Everybody loves coming out to see fights. It doesn't matter what your background is. And even I would even say that the people that are worried about violence and all that, when they see these fights happen in real life, and then they see the camaraderie and the sportsmanship that happens throughout, I think they get a different appreciation and understanding for it. So
even with fighters that do have animosity towards each other, even after the fight, they still, pay their respects.
Yeah, to me, that's just martial arts. I've been in martial arts my whole life. I started with traditional martial arts, like most people, taekwondo, karate, that sort of thing. Respect is a huge, huge thing in martial arts, and I feel like if you don't respect your opponent, then it's a disadvantage. It's almost like underestimating somebody. So to me, respect is a huge deal. Win, lose, or draw. And again, I quoted this last week at the fights, but again, this is one of my favorite quotes from Conor McGregor, and I think it's relevant, especially since we have the fight coming up this weekend. But he said, always be confident in preparation, cocky in prediction, and always, no matter the outcome, be humble in victory or defeat. So I think it's really true to what we do as martial artists, and I really love that quote. So
Yeah, I know. We were talking this the evolution of the whole martial arts at the fights too. It's crazy. It's crazy, and as Colin was saying, so many gyms, so many events now, which is really cool to see. Now jiu-jitsu events also. That brings that different aspect to a sport. We have professional jiu-jitsu leagues. We have a lot of fights. Just in Houston, I'm pretty sure in Texas, as you said, this last weekend, right? We have the fights in Austin, right? The Onnit. Onnit Live, the fight night kickboxing fighter, which is pretty cool. I think they have a boxing one too. Mr. Mike Jackson was over there too. Looked pretty cool. I was in Austin for Onnit's MMA fights, which is a pretty cool show too. So it's pretty. It's pretty cool to see all these events, all these different events, and all of them getting pretty packed. All of them be with a lot of people enjoying the fights, and yeah. As you say, fighting is something that isn't our nature. Fighting, so it's something that everybody can see. It's everybody, and the sport is getting just better and better. They are the martial artists, the techniques, the people, the business. Of course, they're involved in. So that's a pretty cool aspect of that.
All that being said, I'd like to commemorate or congratulate people that are doing their part in helping grow the community. Guys like Michael Corley that are putting on these Muay Thai smokers. Crew Ali is right across the street. He's putting on Muay Thai smokers every weekend. People that are doing open gyms. That's really important to the growth of the community and MMA as a whole. And so I really love seeing these in-house tournaments. I love seeing people go from gym to gym and they're sparring each other and they're helping each other out. To me, that's really important. One thing that I really kind of hold on to, like from the original, like when I started MMA here in Houston, is we used to say it's Houston against the world. It's not Houston versus Houston. You used to have all these Houston versus Houston matchups, and we still have that to a degree on a certain level, but past that, it's Houston against the world. Right. And man, we're coming for you guys. Like, so for the people that are helping grow the community inside the community itself, and taking a selfless approach, I think that's really tough. When you're running a business, it's really hard to be both selfless and help the community grow and try to grow your own business at the same time. It's that you got to kind of walk that fine line, and I appreciate and commemorate everybody who is doing their part right now. So I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Right. As far as businesses and businesses that support combat sports, we have one right here, which is Woos Fighters World. I got the shirt, and he gave me the size, and I said, man, I don't know if I could fit this, but once I put it on, it feels good. It feels right. The fabric felt good. As far as your equipments and tools, what do you have to offer to anybody that's new, that's going into the sport, either boxing, kickboxing, or MMA?
So, we as a business, we always try to we always try to do our best, right? We always try to bring all kind of quality gears, all kind of not quality prices, or pretty good quality very good quality gear. I take a long time, to look for stuff. It takes me a couple hours to see, compare prices, do this store, go to this provider, go to the other one, and I guess that's always our target, to have a really good customer service first, and then to have a really good quality and a really good price. I think that's something that we can do to help, and really try to maintain the prices, even if it's a lot of times it's really hard. To keep in the same online prices. We try to do that to our best, and we just try our best.
The thing too, with like say going to the academy. Well, actually, let me not say mention any names, but like large department sports apparel stores, you don't have what I say you have here is that one-on-one person quality. That also you know the product inside and out. In those big stores, you might you flag someone down, but they're pretty good with baseball apparel, but they have no inkling of sparring gloves or training gloves or anything like that. So, I appreciate you going into that detail and looking at those type of products. What would be your advice on someone that is starting out, and what should they look into and getting?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me what are the best gloves or what are the best quality gloves, and they might be their first pair of gloves. I always tell them how do they feel on their hand, right? I mean, it can be $180 glove, and it can be $30 glove, and probably the $30-$40 glove can feel great for the hand, So I think is what they like, how they feel it, how they can put it, how they feel on their hand. I think that would be the best advice for the glove. There's a lot of details that we take when they walked into the door. I try to always ask them, a couple questions to see where they are, which team they go, and a lot of times it's a little different, so I can see what they're looking for more or less, right. So I can give them the best advice.
So you need to come. And where is it located at?
It's at 6423 Richmond Avenue,
right.
Suite S.
And if you're in that area, or you're on the 59 area and you're wanting to look for a gym, I think
Mr.
Paradigm Training Center. 10,500 West Belford Avenue is our new location off the Southwest Freeway. We also have a location at 5756 South Rice Avenue over in the Bel Air Galleria area. And we also have a third location off of Bel Air itself. It's a tiny little location. We just opened a little studio location. So we actually have 3 locations. Come to all 3. Membership gets you access to all 3. Best gym in the city. So
now, the question to you: what would be your advice to someone that's starting out, wanting to get into it? What kind of advice would you want to?
Yeah. So to me, when I first got into the sport, I kind of knew right away that I really wanted to do this. This was something that I really wanted to dedicate a lot of time and effort to, and I really wanted to try to achieve some lofty goals in this sport. So for me, it was just get into a gym and just kind of see what you can do. But for the average person, I would say go to a gym, feel out the instructors, feel out the atmosphere, see if it's something that you like. Second of all, obviously, see how well you mesh with your instructor. As we mentioned before, there are a ton of great gyms in the city. There's plenty of options, depending on what you're looking for specifically. Obviously, I think Paradigm has the best choice. We have the most choices, and I think we have the best coaching staff by a long shot, not to mention the best facilities and everything else. But that's neither here nor there, and that's people's opinion. So, I say come in, try some classes, and see how you like it from there, and then decide what you really want to do. Is this something that you want to pursue, or is it more of like a fitness thing for you? Is it more of a health thing for you? Is it more of a self-defense kind of thing? And then you can go from there. We were talking about Woo Fighters World. What I love about what they offer is that they offer a range of equipment all the way from like beginner apparel all the way to advanced apparel. And Paco and these guys, they're always in the gym. They're always training with us. So it's not like they're just shopping online and seeing what looks cool. They actually feel these gloves. They try them out themselves. And so when you get some equipment, you can almost guarantee that it's going to be quality equipment. So, just do your research and make sure you pick what's right for you.
Well, I recently went up to Austin to do that Onnit Fight Live. I was there. Awesome place. If you get a chance, if you're in there. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So, an awesome training facility, 1, and 2, the products that they offer is just unbelievable. They have from CrossFit to physical, physical fitness, certification. I even checked on their online. They have, how-to videos, tutorials, and all that stuff. I know you had a little bit of the opportunity to try out their stuff. Can you tell me a little bit about?
Yeah, absolutely. My good friend Andrew Craig, former UFC fighter, invited me up there. I went out there and checked out the facility, and the facility is just phenomenal. I mean, they have their CrossFit area is crazy awesome. They have some of the coolest equipment. One of the things I really like is that they focus on functional movement, and that's something that's really important to me as a fighter. They also have a lot of really unique equipment that is centuries old. Like they use Indian clubs, and they use these steel maces and all these other, kettlebells, stuff like that. Things that have been around for centuries, but are really, really effective for movement and gaining strength in movement, which is something that I think a lot of people overlook. A lot of people say, oh, well, I need to be flexible and I need to be strong. But what people don't understand is that those two things are kind of combined. It's one thing to be flexible, but if you look at like a really high-level yogi, for example, they're very flexible, but they may be able to stretch their legs apart, but they may not be able to bring them back together very well because they're not that strong in that position. So that's something really important. Again, you mentioned the products, top-of-the-line products. Literally everything is just 100% natural. They don't mess with anything synthetic. They do everything pretty much in-house. They have it all tested. And I was really skeptical on their products for a really long time. Like I'd heard so much good stuff about Alpha Brain, for example, being their premier product. And they kind of like, the way they advertise it, it almost came across as like a natural, Adderall, And I was just like, nah, there's no such thing, and I just didn't think it was real. But man, let me tell you, I love Alpha Brain. I take a little bit of Alpha Brain, and whatever I had to get done that day, I'll usually get that done and then some. It makes me so productive. My brain feels like it's supercharged, and I'm always ready to go. So I love the Alpha Brain product. But really, they have everything. Like you mentioned, you were looking at their online stuff. They have online tutorial stuff. They do the functional fitness stuff. They have Black Swan Yoga over there. They have DeFranco's Gym, which is more of a strength building. He works with like a lot of WWE and football guys, but gets them to a point where they're not only lifting strong, but they're also functional with their movement patterns as well. And they just keep adding more new and exciting stuff. What I really like about the owner, Aubrey Marcus, is that he's very in tune with himself and what makes him happy. And everything in his product line is something that he would use in his daily life, and that he won't put out a product unless he really feels like he would use it on the daily and use it consistently. And I really liked their products. Everything was great, super nice staff, just awesome people out there.
It was a great experience for me. And next time, if I ever get an opportunity to go back up there, I'll give you a call and bring you up. All right. Don't mean to cut it short, but is there any other fighters on that card that you think it's going to be another worthy fight of the card?
The Diaz fight?
Yes.
Let's pull up the card because I'm not exactly sure who's on that card right now. I was just pulling it up.
Well, while he's doing that, check out their website, Paradigm. Check out their stuff. Go ahead, sir.
txgym.com. Super simple. txgym.com or paradigmtrainingcenter.com. It'll lead you to the same website. Yeah, check it out. It's an interactive website. Talk to us on there. We have a live chat. You can talk to a live representative on there. And
that's rare. That's rare. Usually you get those little robot talkers.
Right.
Sir, a little plug-in for Wolves Fighter World.
You can also check our website, so it's a lot more information over there, GulfFightersWorld.com. There's information over there. There's also information for our shirt company, our sister company, Spartan Shirts. Email, everything over there. If you ever need some custom shirts, custom stuff, let us know. Hoodies, shirts, pants, whatever we can print, we'll do it. That's also that's also one of our company that we work a lot on that too. We also try to do our best, and that will be GulfFightersWorld.com. All the information is there. If not, as we say, we're here 6423 Richmond Avenue.
As far as Gulf Coast Fight TV, we're gonna try to do this as a weekly thing. Hopefully, well, I know for a fact it's gonna be live. We're doing a live weekly podcast, and that's our goal. Please press like on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm still learning all that stuff. It's kind of new to me, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Sir, anybody?
Yeah, so the lineup here is Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor is the headliner. We got Anthony Johnson versus Glover Teixeira, which is an excellent matchup.
Yes.
I'm actually really excited about that. For a long time, everybody was saying nobody could beat John Jones, and my pick for beating John Jones was Glover Teixeira for a really long time. I was a little disappointed at the way that worked out.
Yeah.
But God, he just looks when he wins a fight, he just looks so phenomenal. And then when he loses a fight, he just looks kind of real mediocre, and it's kind of frustrating. But him versus Anthony Johnson is literally like the perfect matchup because both of those guys have the same issues. They have the same strengths. It's going to be a war. Those two are going to slug. I think Anthony Johnson probably has a power advantage, but Glover is no punk, and he can wrestle. He can submit you, and he can stand and bang. So that's a really interesting fight right there for me. The Rick Story versus Donald Cerrone, another really interesting matchup. Rick Story is not the most you never hear anybody really talk about him. He's not really hyped a whole lot. But man, does that guy play the ultimate spoiler? Every fight he's in where he's an underdog, I feel like he wins. And then he loses every fight that he's supposed to win. He lost to Charlie Brenneman, who was terrible, and he got destroyed by him. And it was, but then he'll go in there and beat a top contender that's just been on this crazy win streak out of nowhere. So him versus Donald Cerrone is an interesting matchup. Donald, this is his second fight at 170. He looked great against Patrick Cote. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do against Rick Story, who's a really kind of real tough brute. Let's see here. Cody Garbrandt versus Takeya Mitsugaki. Not really an exciting matchup per se. I think Cody Garbrandt, that's kind of a walk through the park for him. But I am interested to see how he looks. In my opinion, Cody Garbrandt looked really average up until he fought what's his name out of Gold Team. Undefeated 21-year-old Brazilian knockout artist.
What is that?
Thomas?
Yes, Thomas Almeida.
Almeida, yes, right.
So up until that fight, I felt like Cody Garbrandt looked really average. And Cody even said himself, he's like, this is the type of fight that hypes me up. This is the type of fight that gets me going. And he's been in combat sports for a long time, and I understand, as guys kind of go through waves of, of passion, and they will kind of lose it for a little while, and they get it back. And so this is one of those fights. He's on the edge of a title shot, so I'd be really interested to see how he looks in this fight, more so than expecting. I expect him to win, but I'm interested to see how he looks. Let's see what else is on here. Neil Magny versus Lawrence Larkin. At 170, that's an interesting matchup. Two guys that have very Magny's really tall and thin, and Lawrence is a little bit more muscular, but both are good strikers. I think Neil has the advantage on the outside. Lawrence will definitely have an explosive advantage, and definitely on the inside he'll be able to strike a little bit better. Lawrence has looked pretty good at 170. I really like watching him strike. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about, but
yes.
Lawrence Larkin, really fun to watch striking-wise. He always puts on an exciting fight. And Neil Magny, while he's been up and down, he's looked really phenomenal when he's been up. So I think that's about it on this card. Everybody else is kind of new or not really people I'm really interested in. But overall, it's a really strong card. I know Tim Means was on there, and he had somebody matched up with him that was an exciting fight, and I think that person pulled. So I don't know if they've found a replacement for him or if they pulled that fight from the card completely. I always like watching Tim Means fight. No, I mean, anybody with the nickname Dirty Bird that can hit like
or
that.
Last name Means.
Yeah, Means. He's mean as hell, man. I love watching that guy fight. So I'd be excited to see him on the card as well.
Any final words?
Also something very exciting, Mr. Colin Wright, who'll be fighting on Legacy in September. September 10. 16, no, September 16.
September 16.
September 16.
Yes.
Legacy coming back to Houston, of course, with a huge car. And Mr. Colin will be fighting over there. I'm excited for that one. And
Fight of the night. Oh,
for sure. That's an exciting matchup. Trust me. Adrian Yanez, got nothing but respect for the kid. I've never really met him or hung out with him or anything, but I've seen him fight. I've been watching him come up through the ranks for a while. It's somebody I kept a close eye on. I'm very familiar with his game, and I'm excited for this fight. You know, he's a scrapper. He's gonna try to bang, and we're looking for a really good fight. It's a good matchup for me.
If they want to get tickets,
Stop by any Paradigm location. We'll have tickets available there. You can also contact me directly. I'm on pretty much any social media at Colin Wright MMA. Please go like and share my fan page. I'd really appreciate that. Other than that, you know, that's it. I'm excited.
all right.
Cool.
Well,
Thank you very much.
signing
J-Lo.
off.